talked to you in the few videos so far and encouraged you to do your own startups. So what kind of startups succeed and what don't? Hi, welcome to Insights with Nandu, and I'm going to talk to you about several issues on this channel through short videos, 7 to 10 minutes each. Today we're going to talk about startups. The important thing to know about startups is that 99% of all startups fail. I repeat that, 99% of all startups fail. The good thing is more and more in today's world, there is no stigma attached to this kind of failure. The good thing is that more and more people are feeling the urge to go out and create the future themselves instead of working within a large organization. So that's good. So do try, but be prepared to fail. And when you fail, pick yourself up, dust off yourself, and then ask yourself, what did I learn? And jump back in and try again. Okay? Because many successful startups are actually second, third, fourth attempts when they actually start and succeed. Now, here's the thing about startups, and this is from my experience as a venture capitalist and by reading people like Peter Thiel and talking to other venture capitalists. If your startup is based on a really cool technology and you're saying, wow, this is a really cool tech I have, how can I make it work? Where can I sell it? There is a more than 90% chance that you will fail. The starting point for a successful startup is not tech, but it's a real problem. What is the real consumer problem, the real business problem, the real network problem, customer problem? Is there a real problem that you can help to resolve using cool tech to make an improvement in the performance of the solution for the problem that is at least a 10x compared to the previous solution to the problem? So let's take a few examples. To look at two of the biggest successes, Google as a search engine and Facebook as a networking platform. Well, before Google, yes, there were a few other search engines which were not very widely used. But in general, the search technique there was, let's say you wanted to find out if your plane was late. You pick up the phone and you call the airport, and maybe they answer, maybe they don't answer, maybe eventually you would jump in your car and go to the airport anyway, and there you find your flight is 2 hours delayed. Well, Google, what basically all search engines do, but Google does it a lot more efficiently, is it does all of this going to the airport, asking people, looking at history, looking at the weather, looking at everything, analyzes all of this data and gives you an answer almost before you have finished typing it. So the old problem of access to information, where you don't have to go running off to the Encyclopedia Britannica or wait through 2 hours of phone calls to get an answer, they do it in milliseconds. So the problem is resolved using technology, and the performance improvement is not even a 10x, it's a 1000x. So no wonder Google became so successful. Facebook likewise, you've lost touch with your friends, your school friends, your college friends, your work friends, going to a new city, you don't know who is there, you don't know who is not there. So you have to call somebody, get numbers, call, it used to be a very cumbersome process. Facebook has short-circuited all of that and made you connected with your friends all the time. So again, the improvement in user experience is not even a 10x, it's way beyond 10x. So no surprise that the business actually succeeded so well. So remember, the starting point of a successful startup is a genuine problem that you are helping to resolve using technology, which might be cool, but it doesn't have to be. Normally, these problems in any value chain is found in the handoff between one part of the value chain to another part of the value chain where there are gaps. So if you can go in and plug those gaps and create value over there, you will find some very interesting new opportunities that come up. Second, Principle, when having identified a problem, try to define the problem very, very narrowly and very, very tightly so you can go in and do some experimentation with a minimum viable product or service. Go and put an MVP, do an iteration, see what it works, go around and try, fail, repeat till you get the 10x. Once you get the 10x, and you built a very strong market position in that niche that you're focusing on, only then you start to move out of your niche and start to look at moving to adjacent territories. And then that's a process of scaling. Whether it's geographical scaling or adjacent businesses scaling, you can scale up and grow outside of your core territories. As you do this whole process, what is very important is that you get a team of people around you to help you, co-founders, employees who share your passion, who share your dream, who fix that problem that you have identified, and who are willing to roll up their sleeves and jump into it and own the passion. They have the hunger to go out and do this and to do this together. The team is very important. Next, what is your metric of success? Is your metric of success how much funding have I raised? What is my market capitalization? And I know those are important metrics and I can understand why they are, and I'll talk about that. Or is your metric of success what's my sales, what's my profits? Or is your metric of success how well am I fixing that consumer problem that I have? How well am I delighting that particular customer business where I had identified a problem? I urge you to look at that delight as the most important metric. Even today in Amazon, all the senior leaders, they go every week to actually interact to consumers and sitting in the call center and seeing what is being done. They actually do that, right? Because you want to be close to the consumer and make sure you focus on the customer delight as your number one KPI. Coming to funding, I promised I'd talk about that. Funding is important, and we all need funding to help to grow, to get people, to get new customers, to invest in marketing, to invest in new product development. It is important. The best kind of funding to get is funding from the customer, right? So if you can get your customers to give you advances to help you develop products, that's fantastic, because they will make sure, customers will make sure that you stay focused on customer delight as the main KPI. There's a friend of mine, a colleague in London Business School, a professor, who's actually written a very nice book about this. It's called The Customer Funded Startup. Do check it out on Kindle. So if you can get customers to fund you, brilliant. If they can't and you have to go out and get venture capital funding, well, okay, do that. But don't get lost in just chasing valuations or chasing funding. In my experience working with startups, and I've invested in more than a dozen startups all over the world, there are two kinds of founders. One who are very focused on funding, valuation, and all they'll talk to you about is their sales story and how much money they've raised and how much the valuation is. And the others who are so focused on operations and making sure the operations work really well. Both of those fail. What you need is a founder who is able to balance the need for raising funds and extending the runway of cash the company has to operate, and is able to devote time to making sure that the operations are running smoothly and you're creating the customer delight eventually. That is what will ensure your longevity and success as a company. You need both. And that's when you need teams of people to help you with both of these sets of activities. But you have to lead the teams on both of these things. So do not measure success as, oh, I managed to raise so much funds. Having raised funds is not the success. It's only the start of a big responsibility, because once you've raised funding from venture capitalists, you have a responsibility to them to demonstrate a return on the venture capital that they have invested in you. And the more money you have gotten them to invest, the more difficult it is going to be for you, because at some point of time, they may have an agenda which is very different from your agenda of what you are looking for from the startup. So be careful before you take too much funding. I go back, remember I said the best funding is funding from your customer, because customers will not give you money unless you are genuinely resolving a problem for them. So don't be focused on valuation as your key metric. Let that be a byproduct of consumer delight, of revenue, of profits, and of employee delight. The valuation will come. Having said all of that, well, the only way to do a startup is to actually roll up your sleeves, jump in, take the plunge, and start by making a few mistakes. Try to keep your experimentation small, and your mistakes will be small. And scale up only once you have sorted out the problems on a small scale and you know it's going to work on a larger scale. So I wish you luck. I wish you a lot of fun, and I wish you a lot of learning on your journey. Please let us know how your journey goes, and if there are any success stories you would like me to share with our viewers. I hope you found that useful and interesting. Now here's what I'd like you to do. If you liked the video, please click the like button. If there's something more you'd like to listen to, or a point of view that you have, please engage, please leave a comment, and I'll try and respond to it either directly or in future videos. And most importantly, if you liked the video or you found something relevant, please share it with your friends. Finally, please click the subscribe button and also click the bell icon so you can get notifications whenever we post fresh videos. Thank you for being with us and help make this channel a success, so together we can explore many new areas and grow intellectually together.